My name is Folau Taukei'aho Taumoepeau. It means Folau. This guy named Folau, he means every time he sails, every time he goes anywhere, he don't land, he always land during the days. And he fight the waves. That's what the name means. But when I was start boxing, people have a hard time trying to pronounce my name. They asked me, and my trainer asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Tonga. And they said, every time I come to the gym, they says, hey, Tonga, come on, hurry up. Change, you gotta work out and all that. That's when the Tonga stick, and they just put the kid in it, in the back. They add it on. And that's where my name's came from, is Tonga Kid. My parents is Lafoi Ahamalu, Tamifuna, and my dad is Semisi Vakataukai, Taumoepeau. I was born in Nuku'alofa, Tonga, on the 21st of September 1945. And I was kind of skinny when I was growing up, but tall, kind of lengthy, and I was kind of on the wild side, when I was growing up. And I was going to school in Leona. There was a guy, a teacher that came from America. His name is Jack Woodworth, and he was a professional boxer, ex-professional boxer. And he started teaching the kids how to fight, to box. That's where I started to box. I was a welterweight. I was not a heavyweight in those days. Our heavyweight is Loni Sikahema. He was our heavyweight. He was Vai Sikahema's dad. We box, and we box against other college and all that. And I was the champion on my division, my weight division. Well, my wife is Ilaisane Kaipa Talaiwa Taumoepeau. And I met her through her sister, her older sister. Her name is Julie. At the time, she was going to the Whirimisi in Tonga. That's the first time they have the Miss Tonga, Miss Heilala. And I saw her in the newspaper from Tonga, and they sent a newspaper to her sister, Suli, in San Francisco, and I look at the picture, and I tell her, hey, why don't you hook me up with your little sister? And she said, okay. So she gave me the address, I wrote her, and we started writing, to each other, and that's how I met my wife. And I went to Tonga in 1970, and that's where I met. First time I met her was in 1970 when I went to Tonga. We went to this boxing place, this gym in San Francisco. The name of the gym was Newman and Herman Gym. That was the gym that all the professional fighters in those days in San Francisco work out at. You start talking to these trainers over there, and I introduced myself, and I got under their wings. They started training me. And the co-owner of the gym, his name was Billy Newman. Billy Newman asked me, "Oh, who teach you how to fight?" And I said, "Oh, there was a missionary guy who came to Tonga and teach at Liahona High School, and he was the one that started teaching me. And he asked me, what's his name? And I said, Chuck Woodruff. To my surprise, he said, hey, Chuck Woodruff, that's my fighter. My first fight, when I fight this guy, came out, and I came out. You know, he threw a jab at me, and I ducked, and I hit him with a right hand under the heart, just knock him out cold. And the second night, same thing, and comes the final. I knocked the guy out in the first round too, you know, and they start talking about, you know, I'm a comer, you know, a newcomer, and talking how hard I hit and all that. So in 1966, when the Golden Gloves come around, instead of me just moving up to the junior, see, my first year was at the novice. Second year, instead of me going up to junior, I jumped from there. They put me up in the senior division in 1966, you know. And all the people were on. All the paper was talking about me. They were saying that they pushing me too fast, you know. And I fight my first, you know, the first night I won by knockout. When I turned professional in 1968, Foreman just came off from the Olympic. He just won the Olympic in 1968. When he came back, I already have about 6 fights. Dick Sadler was George Foreman's trainer, and he was Archie Moore. Dick Sadler was Archie Moore's trainer when Archie Moore was fighting. And Archie Moore was my trainer. You know, Archie Moore was the light heavyweight champion of the world. The name of the guy was Young Stanford. It's a new, he was just coming up. He was good. And he fought Larry Holmes later on. Larry Holmes beat him, but I fought him in Los Angeles, and that's when I know that, you know, I can't see the punches coming anymore, because my eyes was bad. And when I go in the ring with the guy, the first round, he tagged me 3 times. I went down 3 times, and they stopped the fight. And that's the last time I ever fight. I know that I don't have it because my eyes, I can't see the punches coming. And when you can't see the punches, it's time to hang it up.
Right now the flame burns on, but before we leave you tonight, it'll be extinguished. It will be 4 years until we see it again. From Los Angeles, California, ABC Sports presents the game.
When they first apply for the Olympic rejected Tonga's application. See, all we have was boxing. And when we put in our application, they said, no, we want you to come in not only with boxing, running and swimming, all this. You know, all we have was boxing. And they rejected our application. Tonga and Samoa was the same. Samoa was trying to get in with just boxing. And I thought, oh. But luckily, in 1984, Russia and all the communist country, they pull out, they boycott the Olympic. And that's how Tonga get in to the Olympic, because the Olympic, they needed, more country to participate. But because of all the communist country pulling out, boycott the Olympic, that's how we get in. We got in with just boxing. Tonga and Samoa, both, we get in those. But here's what happened. When I saw this in the newspaper and all the news talking about it, I called Tonga because Luani was the one who handled all the boxing and all that in Tonga. And when I call Luani and I tell Luani, hey Luani, I see in the newspaper that they accepted Tonga to the Olympic. But in that time I was training fighters here in Salt Lake City. And Luani said, can you get some box over there and represent Tonga? And I said, yeah, I can do that. It was Lisiate Lavulo, Silo, Havili, and Bill Pulu, and David Taukei'aho, and Elone, and who's the other kids. But we feel proud. I'm telling you, when you walk in there and opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies, you have the flag of Tonga. That's the proudest moment of my, when you walk in there and represent. You can see when, the opening ceremonies on all the Olympics and closing, people are so proud to be there, and that's a feeling that we have, and that's the experience it's gonna be with you for the rest of your life. And you have kids and your children and all that, your grandkids, and you tell them, hey, Grandpa used to be an Olympic, and they say, oh really? There's some of these young kids nowadays, they don't know anything about the history of Tonga, the boxing in there. So I'm the first one that ever take Tonga to the Olympic, Right now, I want to keep back the boxing. I like to go back to Tonga, and because Tonga, they got a lot of good people, strong kids and all that. But what they're lacking is coaching. If I can go back to Tonga and coach over there and teach the kids, the experience that I have, I never have any experience like that. The 3 weeks, 3 weeks that we was in the Olympic is something that you're gonna live with for the rest of your life. The king, when he have his 25th anniversary and as the king of Tonga, he gave me the silver medal for the achievement of being, people that do important things for the kingdom of Tonga. And those are the things that's going to be with you. Life is short. Someday you'll be gone, and maybe your children and your grandkids will talk about you. But that's what happened,